Welcome in, guys. Welcome in to the watch party. Pay no mind to the score bug at the moment. I'm about to fix it for us here. We are just kicking off between Canada and Panama. We're seeing our first 30 seconds of action. Let's get this score bug updated. How's everybody's day? Did we catch any games? I've been watching off to the side while doing some family stuff today. And Haiti played Mexico. They made it through the whole game this time, which was good. Looks like they had a couple of subs that made it into the country. We'll talk a little more about that probably in a little bit here when there's a break in the action between Canada and Panama. Oh, that Canadian logo looks a little rough this way. I normally like to give you guys color consistency with the kits, but for the sake of being able to see the logos, I don't think we're going to be able to do that tonight. But this is just a watch along like it has been before. It's a watch party. You guys are joining here. It's going to be more like a game companion. We cannot stream the game here. It is a copyright infringement. And I have already been warned by YouTube not to do it. So unfortunately, I'm not going to risk it any further than that. Let's see. Panama is in white today, Canada in red. There we go. That looks pretty good. Let's just do that. Keep it easy. Yeah, so I was at my nephew's birthday party. Just came back, so that's why we're starting a little late. I apologize, guys. But we had really interesting game between Mexico and Haiti. Haiti stayed in the match for the first half, and then the second half, the wheels kind of started to come off. The endurance definitely hurting the guys from Haiti, but that's a really young squad. They're all U23, with the exception of their goalkeeper. So they're learning a lot. This is a historic run for them, the fact they're here at all. And when you consider the things that are going on within their home country, really incredible that this is happening for them. Um, I don't know how they're doing it. I really don't. And to play the game with that kind of weight on your mind of what's going on at home must be tough. Really, truly. One other thing I'm doing too, guys. Luke did have a workaround that helped with the lag for the USA game, it seems. I'm going to actually run this off of my phone and keep the VPN on my phone. And I'm locally connected here to try and help with the connection. So running off of data on my phone as well, so we're not bogging down the Wi-Fi. And hopefully you guys see the difference in quality as far as the smoothness of the stream is concerned. Pretty high pace in this one so far. A lot of back and forth, but nothing too venomous as far as final results or shots on goal or anything. A lot of speed, ending up in turnovers in that final third, it appears, for both Canada and Panama. We've had a really fun turnout for these live streams so far. With today being Sunday, I haven't seen as many folks. I think that's kind of normal. I think weekend burnout, everybody's trying to slam in that last little bit of free time for themselves before they got to go back to work. I see these kind of lulls in live stream numbers all the time when it comes to sports. A let alone something like this where I'm just chatting with you guys. So, not surprising, but really like the turnout yesterday, especially. And we'll try again and do the evening tomorrow with these teams really not being directly tied to the United States or the impact on their movement forward, especially after today. I don't really know how many people will be tuning in, but we're going to be here just in case. We want to be here in case you guys want to chat. So here we are. Luke might be joining us in a little bit as well. So keep an eye out for him. Ooh, Canada with their first real shot on goal that I've caught here. Nutmeg down the line on the far side of the court from the camera, and a shot slotted back post. It was just wide by maybe a foot. Probably not even that. Real close. And Panama scores. Wow, seemingly from nothing. Looked like he was about to lose the ball. And he was able to pull it out of a mess of Canadian defense. There was about 4 legs in his way. Yeah, he ended up beating everybody on the Canadian team on that one. Split 2, shot between 2 more. Pixo never really committing to it. Diala had come across, but a great shot slotted far post as he came across the center of the court. And that opens the scoring for Panama. We saw yesterday Canada is not afraid to pour the pressure on to stay in a game, forcing a tie yesterday with Cuba. Panama with a quick counter, but Canada quick to get back that time and soak up that pressure. Another goal for Panama. Off the corner kick. A quick 2 for them. They're looking slightly more lethal than they did against Nicaragua last night. A little more clinical with the finishes. And this one, Canada set up in that nice classic Y formation to defend a corner kick. And Panama still found a way to slot it through that top of the Y. And the guy that's in this back spot here come across. And they found themselves the guy at the top of the arc to make that goal. So great vision from the Panamanian off the goal, or excuse me, off the corner kick. And nice easy shot down the middle for his teammate. Ooh, Canada with a nice little set piece off a foul there. Nice pass down the line, rolled it back to the original kicker, and he crossed it to the back post, but bounced off a couple of feet, and they weren't able to finish on that back post. But man, was that close! Holy cow! I think this is the thing I've liked the most about the Canadian side so far this tournament is they've faced some adversity in goal score lines. They've gone down against Cuba early and came back and stayed in that game. They have not changed their strategy. They've kept that high press. They haven't become timid in fear of counterattacks. And it's paid off for them in the Cuba game. Let's see how it does for them today against Panama, who's a better opponent, I would say, arguably. Um, yeah, this may be a little bit tougher, but I like that the energy is still high from Canada. You wouldn't know they were down by two right now. High intensity, but not panicked, which is nice. Nice to see. A yellow card for Canada. That's number 9. Trying to remember his name from yesterday. Let me pull up my roster. Aquiles Campos for Canada. That's not right. It should be Kwemi Loic, Loic from Evolution Futsal Club. Late to a challenge as the Panamanian got rid of the ball, crossing the court, and he just gave him a shove, even though he was out of the play already. So, right in front of the referee, saw the whole thing, both hands in the guy's chest. I mean, don't leave the referee much choice on those ones. Short of him covering his eyes or putting on some sunglasses. You can't unsee that. Oh, and there's Canada's first. Wow, that was nice. So, a run down the sideline on the far side. They cross it into the middle. Keeper gets a piece of it and it kisses off the post, but Canada's smart to follow through and finish that thing and just tap it in right at the goal line. So Canada is back in this at 2-1. Like I said, the way they've been playing, you would never know that they were down by 2 goals. They've been playing very smooth, very uh, high level, but not panicked. I keep getting ads when I watch this on my phone. Good game so far, about halfway through the first half. Physical, uh, but not dirty. Both teams fighting hard. Let's see what comes of it. Still 2-1. Panama to Canada. Great little play by there, Canada doing a nice job. Oh, great fight from the Panama players. It's been a very good back and forth. Both teams really invested, playing hard, playing with a certain level of intensity. Smooth from Panama, but the final shots over the bar. Both teams probing, but just not finding that right shot just yet. Hmm. Great fight from both teams there. Canadian player on the ground trying not to do anything dangerous, but also trying to retain the ball. And ultimately, referee decides that it's Panama's ball. It's dribbled out for a Canada kick in eventually. And they're back on the ball again. Ooh, great shot from Canada from about the penalty spot. But with a simple twist, keeper's on it. Didn't look like he had to move too much. And saw it all the way through. No one was screening him. Interesting bit this whole thing. The level of intensity in this group, albeit from quote unquote some lesser teams, has been better than what we've seen from someone who's expected to do well in this tournament, this being the United States. I don't think a lot of people outside of the United States understood just how much dysfunction has been going on the futsal scene, but it's starting to show now for sure. Similarly to how there was all kinds of disruption with the U.S. team in the World Cup and after with the whole Geo situation, um, we've had someone ostracized that was so far proven to be more qualified and a better candidate to take this program to the next level. And we find ourselves being realizing what we don't have till it's gone because it was taken from us. We knew what we had, but USSF didn't. I know similarly, Canada, Australia, England, Wales, all these guys uh, go through similar struggles to us, where the FA is not actually particularly interested in supporting these girls and guys teams in futsal, and these extended national team programs are really just there to fill a corporate quota. It seems. Oh, Canada starting to counter here. It's 3v2. Oh, they give it right away. And Panama makes them pay. Oh boy. Panama on the counter. So Canada was trying to get some passing plays going out of the back. Excuse me. And they just took a little too long to do so. And Panama jumped on them. And with a little bit of high pressure, a shift in pressure, they were able to steal that ball and get some instant gratification with a goal. So Panama really doing some great work here to take care of business. Well, you know what? I have one more thing I want to add to the stream here, guys, while we're watching this. So, in the results elsewhere today, Guatemala beats Trinidad and Tobago 5-3. They come from behind going into the half down 2-0 and end up winning 5-3 in the second half. 5 goals for Guatemala and only one for Trinidad. Didn't get to see that whole game. I know friend of the channel Chris Grabus was one of the referees. From the little bit I did see out of the corner of my eye while I was doing some day work around the house here, it looked like Trinidad played at a high level and just couldn't retain that high level going into the second half, and they unfortunately paid for it. I'm going to try and update. Oops. So Costa Rica also beat Suriname. Surprisingly, they only won 3-1. I would expect that Suriname match would have been a runaway for Costa Rica. Of course, if you guys were with us earlier today, you saw the Dominican Republic handle the United States of America and also hold off a late flurry of attempts by US. USA was able to get it within a 1-goal deficit, but their efforts were far too little, far too late. And the Dominican got a well-deserved win. And then Haiti today played against Mexico. And they ultimately end up losing to Mexico 9-4. So we'll update those things. We'll get a nice little ticker going across the bottom. Okay, let's get this into the stream. Tell me what you guys think. What did you think of the action today? How many games did you catch? Are we still struggling with VPNs and things not being available to us in our countries? I know I've gotten several calls today, texts, hey, how do I watch this? And I keep asking, do you have a VPN? And if the answer is no, then I apologize, but you're not watching this. It's foolish by CONCACAF. But I question their investment in the sport if they're not willing to provide this to us, honestly. It's easy enough to get a VPN, but it messes up so many other things. Like I know for me, I've been having the VPN running on my phone. And when I do that, it shuts down my work email. So tomorrow I got to reset all that, make sure I'm good, make sure I turn off the VPN when I go to work, blah, blah, blah. It's just added steps that are a pain in the butt. And if you're not really a fan of futsal, you're not going to go to that much trouble. And those are the people we're trying to attract to the sport. It's the people that don't watch us right now. The rest of us blindly enjoy it, even though it's incredibly disruptive and confusing and shocking at times. About 4 minutes ago, 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Canada's on the ball. Haiti looking much better today than they did yesterday. It's something I found interesting. I saw an interesting statistic today, and it was that Haiti's 3 goals yesterday in the first half were the most goals that Costa Rica has succeeded since their time as back-to-back champions. In that time frame, no one has scored 3 goals on them. So very interesting stuff. Uh, does that mean there's some breath of life in this Haitian squad? I think a lot of it has to do with the stamina and just with everything going on in their country, their lack of ability to prepare and be ready for this tournament. And I'll have some more information on that if you guys are interested at halftime that I can read through real quick. Uh, was reading through an email that Otto had sent out to our academy. If you guys weren't in our previous streams, Otto is the assistant coach for the Haitian national team. So he's been sharing some insights with us. So we'll see. We'll if we have some time, we'll read through that. I'm gonna take care of a couple things at halftime and jump right back. Uh, and we'll see what we've got going on for the second half between Canada and Panama. Right now, it's still 3-1 in Panama's favor. Canada has been on the ball for the last about 40 seconds or so, trying to find a way through this defense, and they can't quite find it, but they do earn a corner. So we'll see if they can get some set piece magic going here. To oh, excuse me, no, it was a goalie kick. So now they're on the defense, but that defense looks formation wise looks pretty good at the moment. They're holding it together. Kind of an unnecessary foul there for unnecessary foul there for Panama. Had help around. Not sure if he knew that or not. He had his back to those guys the way that play worked out. So I don't know, how you can fault the guy for that, but it was just kind of a silly foul at half court. It is nearing the end of the half. I guess if you have fouls to give, it's not the biggest deal in the world. It results in a Canada shot, but it hits the outside netting. So Panama back on the ball. Oh, another giveaway from Canada to Panama. And oh, the Canadian. Oh, wow. So it got past their goalkeeper, John Steele, between his legs, but the last trailing Canadian player was able to backheel it off the line and save this becoming a 3-goal deficit, which is pretty cool. Hell of an effort from the Canadian. believe that was number 10 for Canada with that goal line save. Let's take a look and see if we can figure out who that is. No, I don't think that's right. Safwayne Mla. If it is right, I don't want to go back and miss any action in the meantime, so I'm going to let this thing ride. What you guys think of the game so far today? Very interested to see how Nicaragua responds after their loss last night to Panama, and how will they play against Cuba? We'll watch that as our second game of the night. Yellow card to Canada. Kind of a tough challenge on the touchline there. A little conversation back and forth here between the Panamanian and the Canadian. The Canadian that just got the yellow card and was the one that just had the goal line save. So he's been the center of attention here for a minute. He's from Sporting Montreal. MLAH is how you spell his last name. Safwayne Law? I hope that's right. If any Canadians are in the chat and want to correct me on that, please do. I will not take it personal. I promise. Less than a minute to go here in the first half. Panama currently controlling the ball. And the commentator's curse. I just cursed them with a turnover to Canada, but it doesn't last for long, and we've got to kick in. See what else we could get going here for both these teams. If they can get another goal in right before halftime. Canada on the ball here. 40 seconds to go. Effort goes wide. And now Panama plays the ball in. They seem to be setting up in a 3-1 formation. Canada playing high, but not really high pressing in the sense of creating a lot of pressure. They're just kind of there. Ten seconds left. Now kick in for Panama with just under 9. Yeah, interesting games for me today. What I've been able to catch, I was not able to watch the Costa Rica Suriname game. I was in and out of the Guatemala Trinidad match because of some other things I had going on then as well. But we did watch the USA Dominican Republic game, which was huge letdown in my opinion for the United States. They look like crap. These two players still John here. We got number 10 for Canada, number 3 for Panama that have now on 2 or 3 occasions here had some words exchanged. And they are now headed into the locker room with a score line of 3-1. We are at halftime. There we go. All right, guys, I'm going to quickly top off my water. I've got some fish food prepping here for the guys in the back that I need to check on, and then we can chat through the rest of halftime here until they go live again. I got an interesting email from Otto that he shared with Heart and Soul Futsal Academy, and which he runs back home in Akron, Ohio. And he shared a little information behind the Haitian squad and why it's really a miracle that they're there at all, let alone participating in the CONCACAF Futsal Championships. So we'll dig into that. We'll chat. Feel free to sound off in the comments if you guys are hanging out. Let me know what you guys think of the games, of this game, of games from earlier today or even tomorrow. And then as we get back into the game, we will answer questions and comments as we can. I think we've been pretty responsive so far. But if we do miss you for a couple minutes, if it's because of the action, then I apologize. We do our best to put you guys first on this channel if we can. This is meant to be a watch along, and what good's a watch along if you're not watching along with people? So you guys are the guys that make that happen. We appreciate you. All right, I'll grab that quick drink and I'll be right back with you guys. I'm gonna just leave this running here. So enjoy my desk chair. I'm gonna have them hold it over for me, maybe tell some jokes until I can get back. All right, guys, I'll see you in a minute. All right, I am back. I got some goodies to keep us going through this second half. And then I just got to do a little bit of fish maintenance here. Looks like we got a little bit of time yet before we go back live for the second half. So that's good news. So if you guys are curious, I do a combination of frozen fish foods to feed these fish behind me. So I make my own mixture of a few different types of packaged frozen foods for fish and mix it all together. So it's a combination of fish eggs, different types of plankton and algae, as well as some meaty things like types of micro shrimp and stuff. Not stuff that you would see at Red Lobster, but some things like if you guys are familiar with things like mysis shrimp, brine, those kinds of shrimps are kind of lower on the food chain, more of a staple. And then I supplement this with a bit of a vitamin booster for the fish to keep them healthy. 1 drop of that, 1 milliliter, I should say, one syringe full. And then, believe it or not, I use a garlic extract, garlic concentrate. Just a couple of drops. You don't need a lot. This stuff's really strong, but that actually helps trigger hunger in fish. So if I have anybody in the tank that might not be feeling well, might be dealing with some parasites or bacteria, sometimes that'll kill a fish's appetite, and then it's a really quick drop for the fish from that point, because not only are they sick, but then they're not feeding themselves right to get right and healthy. And unlike humans, they can't just fix that themselves. So use some different tricks of the trade, and I just use them consistently to make sure that we don't have any misses within the tank the best I can. Now, if you guys have been watching my live streams for a while, you might notice there's less fish back there than there have been in the past. I did lose a school of fish because of an issue with a filter that died. So I had this big wave maker filter, and it unfortunately quit working on me, and it killed a bunch of fish overnight because there wasn't enough oxygen in the tank from the flow of the wave maker. So got that mostly fixed now. I've got a replacement one in there. It's a little smaller than what I want, but it's there. Recreating that flow the best it can, and we'll slowly build this back up. But as you guys can probably see behind me, particularly here in this middle section, as well as right here, got quite a bit of algae buildup that I need to work on. So that'll be something I'm working on here this week when CONCACAF isn't going on in between games or something. We might be doing some tank maintenance, the less sexy part of the hobby. Looks like a lot of Nicaragua fans are starting to filter into the crowd here at halftime, getting ready for the last game of the night. I got a quick chance to talk to Otto through text before his game with Haiti, and they he actually informed me that this is an open air arena, and it is 97 degrees right now in Nicaragua. So very, very hot. I would imagine that it's tough playing conditions because of that. Hearing that, I'm curious if that's why the USA looks so sluggish. Because, I mean, they do not look very convincing at all in either of their games, but doesn't seem to have affected Canada. They're playing very hard, and the other countries all seem to be coping with it, no problem, regardless of what part of this region they're from. And we're getting ready for kickoff here. I'm looking at my mate cup and thinking I might not have put enough mate in here. Too late now. We're getting ready to kick off. Hope everyone's doing well out there. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think of the game so far? What do you think of this game? Who do you think is going to end up winning between Canada and Panama? Let's start a poll. Let's see what you guys think in case you don't want to actually type in the chat. Ooh, good catch, Jake. I think Canada could very easily get back into this and make a game out of it. They have so far. I think that's unfair for me to say make a game out of it because they have. Um, but I mean, make this game a lot tighter than it currently is. And right off the rip, they're creating some pretty high pressure. Oh, and is this a foul inside of the arc? Surely it is. So Canada comes out of the gate at halftime with some insanely high pressure. And it's just number 10. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. So they gave the foul. I don't think they gave a card. But these are the two guys that were drawn with each other at the end of the half, as well as towards the end of that first half. And now it looks like Canadian side has gotten the better of the guy and caught him in a moment where he was able to beat him just enough to draw this foul. Doesn't look like there's a card. But it is going to be a penalty. Canada with a chance to make this a one-goal whole game, which is really cool. I think Canada might kind of be considered underdogs in this match. Panama making it to the semifinals in the last 3 iterations of the contest to make their way to the World Cup. That's not enough mate, but that's okay. Sorry, I'm looking down so much, guys. I pulled the stream over to my phone so that the VPN is affecting my phone and not the stream itself. So I don't mean to look like I'm not paying attention to you guys. I am keeping an eye on the chat, first and foremost. But I've got the stream on my phone kind of propped up on a little stand here. And oh, they're calling another foul here. 2 fouls, I think. Little tussle between number 8 from Panama. Yeah, and they gave him a yellow. Ruman Milord. Interesting. He did something the referee didn't like off the ball, getting ready for this PK. And there's the goal from the penalty. Canada with 2. Panama got to be kicking themselves after that. I mean, we are 17 seconds into the second half. Oh, that's nice. Put it in the side netting a little bit there, too. Little curl. And Quemi, oh, man, he's been scoring a lot, and I don't know how to say his name. Keeps making me look silly. Quemi Lioch? Someone in the chat, please let me know. Spell it out phonetically for me. Save me. Great game, though. This has been a great game so far, and I expect more. I think this is going to be really good. Good little turnout here. Watching this Canadian side do their thing. Panama with a shot. A little far away. I thought they had a chance to catch goalkeeper sleeping, but he was ready for it. Panama appears to be sticking to the game plan, still playing pretty calm. Couple of missteps, but it looks more like a loss of traction than any kind of panic or anything. And they're still up a goal, no reason to panic. But Canada bringing a very high pressure, keeping the intensity of this game really high. And I'd say they're probably going to force some mistakes in the process and create some more opportunities for themselves, which is really cool. We're going to get some good futsal out of this for sure. Oh, number 10 again for Panama. Little too rough on the 50-50 for the referee. He didn't like it. No cardboard comes out of pockets, but little finger wag there between him and the referee discussing what happened and possibly walking on thin ice now. I don't think he got a card for either foul, but he sure is making his presence known in this game. We got a free kick here for Panama. Doesn't amount to much, but they still keep the ball and they've got a kick in. They've opted to reset in their own half. They set up in a 3-1. Now they've turned it over. Canada's pressure keeps the pivot from retaining the ball. Now Canada with a chance to set up and make something happen. Ooh, just over the bar for Canada. While this game is going on, I wanted to share. Actually, you know what? Maybe we'll share this in between the two games. So I'm not talking over some potential action here. Quinn, hey, welcome to the chat, man. Where is the game streaming? So CONCACAF kind of did its dirty. If you're in the United States, supposedly they have the game listed as streaming on Fox, but really it's on their streaming service Tubi, Tubi. So you kind of have to do some research to find the games, which I think is a little ridiculous from CONCACAF. Nobody wants to work that hard. Uh, and why didn't they just list it the way that it actually was? What I am doing to watch the game is I'm catching it on YouTube. And what I've done is I've used a VPN to bypass the geo blocker. So if you're in the United States and you pull up the CONCACAF YouTube page, it doesn't look like anything's going on. There's no live streams listed. There's no sign of life. But the minute you turn on a VPN and run it through virtually any other country, all of a sudden all these live streams pop up that are scheduled. So that's what we've been doing between Luke and I to do these live stream watch parties with you guys. The very first game with the USA and Trinidad, we were able to stream a tiny window of it within our stream. But by the second game, YouTube caught up with us, and rightfully so. We knew that this is very possible that this would happen, and so we got a little bit of a copyright warning from YouTube, and they paused our stream. These games are not on Tubi. I've been watching it all day until now. Oh, interesting. Okay. Um, That is that's a conundrum. Are you in the United States, Quinn? They should be on there. I will say this. So far, the surefire way to guarantee you can watch these games is to run a VPN. Um, if you don't have a VPN and you don't want to pay for that monthly service, then I totally get it. Uh, there are other perks to VPNs, but is it worth it to you? That's up to you guys to decide. I like it for the security that you get within a VPN as well. On top of that, just these last two are not there. Yeah, and there's one more after this. So if they're not showing in the programming, it's very possible that they're not showing these last few games. I don't know why they would do that. Again, why would you do that? I don't understand. Between this Copa America and the Africa Cup of Nations, they've made accessibility to games extremely difficult. Um, Copa America geo blocked the United States, which why it wasn't airing anywhere in the United States. So what good does that? Excuse me. What good does that do? Uh, and then the Africa Cup of Nations contest, which is going on now at the same time, they advertised and claimed they were going to be on YouTube, just like CONCACAF did, but there is zero sign of life from them, even with a VPN logging in some other countries. So I don't know what the heck's going on there. If I'm just picking the wrong countries, I don't know. But I kind of gave up on it. I was like, I'm not going to work. I'm a futsal fan and I'm not working that hard. But with this and the United States being involved, and we have friends of the channel that are from Canada, I wasn't going to miss this tournament, and luckily we were able to find a way to use that VPN. Why Mexico has it and not the United States, I do not know, but they do have access to it. Downside to that, of course, is you're going to get some YouTube ads as you go along. Most of them are only 5 to 7 seconds long, or you can skip them. But it is a little annoying that it's been interrupting the stream. I wish I could air it for you guys and show you, but unfortunately I'll get a copyright strike and then the channel will go away, and I don't want that either. So we're kind of stuck with this. I've noticed that Canada's given up a few fouls now in this game that are all kind of in a similar space, just past half court on the camera side of the court. Oh, and there's a goal for Panama. Right, way to go. Started with that free kick I was just talking about. They switched the court, and then a little 1-2 passing leads to an opportunity, and they put it in the top netting. That's number 6 for Panama. So they crossed it, found the center after that. He does a quick 1-2 to get around the Canadian defender and puts it in the back of the net. Gorgeous. Very, very good. Canada keeping the pressure on, not giving up. Oh, and a quick opportunity for them. Not a goal, though. But they are keeping the pressure high, and finally it's a high end to the right that gives the ball back to Panama. Very high press from Canada. They've pressured Panama up against their own touchline, really trying to choke them out. Another foul against number 10, and he finally sees yellow. Oh, it is his second. Is it his second yellow? I thought he didn't get one for the PK, but maybe he did. Canadian players emphatically shouting that that's his second. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know about that. Just his first yellow. Just his first yellow. He's still in the game. So Canada with a free kick in a dangerous spot. Probably about 2/3 down. So right on the tip of Panama's third of the court. On the far side of the court, away from the camera. And as they're lining up for this one, they got a man on the back post, man on the back corner of the arc, and their fixo kind of sitting in a drop position in the center. It goes to the fixo, and he takes a rip and just misses. Ooh, the pivot on the back post almost got a piece of it, and looking at it in the replay, could have been a beauty. Unfortunately, not meant to be that time. Another yellow card for Panama goes to Oscar Hinks. Great fight from both teams here. Very entertaining second half. This game has gotten more and more physical as the game's gone on. No malice yet, I would say, just very physical. If you guys are just tuning in, tell me what you think. If you're catching the games and you guys know where to catch the actual live stream for other people in the chat, feel free to share how you're watching the game. I know Quinn has mentioned in the chat he's having a hard time finding it. Uh, my solution has been a VPN. There's some great VPN companies out there. None of them sponsor the channel, so when I say this, I'm not paid by anybody. But NordVPN is who I use. I know Luke, who's also very involved in the channel here, uses Speedify, which also has some Wi-Fi and data gilding services as well. If you're a streamer yourself, particularly in places away from home, that can be a benefit. ExpressVPN, another great one. So there's some really good stuff there. They do all require a subscription, but a lot of them have free trials. I believe ExpressVPN has a free trial. Might be a good place to start. And then I just renewed with Nord, and I think they were doing like a 70% off sale or something like that. So I'm certain that it's not really 70% off. They probably just mark it way up on their website and say that it is. But at any rate, there's always deals going on. Another foul for Panama. I'm not sure what our foul count is exactly, but want to say they're at about 4, and there's 12 minutes to go. Gonna have to be mindful of that from here. You do not want to let Canada back into this game with some easy PK goals. And I'm a little slow to move forward on that, but they do have the ball and they are retaining some offense here. Canada opting to play with 3 back and keep their pivot high. Get ready for that counter. It looks like they're also utilizing that to create some high pressure on the back pass when Panama tries to reset their formation. Right now, Panama on a big attack. Canadian goalkeeper comes up huge. Well done. Very well done. Great effort from number 8 there from Panama. He had to fight through quite a bit. He was off balance for the majority of that run down the court, but still was able to make a play happen. It's Rumon Milford, who plays for Los Lobos back in Panama. Canada looking to counter here off the corner kick. Panama is snuffed out on their opportunity there on the set piece. And we continue on here. Great to retain the ball there from Canada after a quick misstep. Recovers quickly, doesn't let Panama take advantage, and it turns into a shooting opportunity that's just a little wide. Little wide and near post there. Been really impressed with Canada's pressure defensively during this tournament. They are not afraid to get forward and apply high pressure right off the rip and try and throw teams off. So going into this game, Panama already has collected 3 points in their win against Nicaragua last night. Canada has a point from a draw with Cuba. So even if Panama wins this and gets up to 6 points in the standings for their group, and Canada remains at 1, depending on how this Cuba versus Nicaragua game goes, then I think that they have a chance to become the best, at the very least, the best third place team out of this group. And I can see Canada moving on to the quarterfinals. They're certainly playing well enough that they deserve it. Cuba play today? Yes, they do. They play next. They're playing against Nicaragua, and that game will kick off in about 40 minutes. And as we're talking about that, Panama scores again. They make it 5-2. Excellent, excellent goal. An individual effort turns into a shot from the far corner. Well, maybe not quite. Outside of the arc. The deflection from the goalkeeper, unfortunately for him, goes right to another Panamanian attacker, and he's able to slot it home. So Aquiles Campos, who was active yesterday as well with some goals, finds himself on the score sheet for today. I believe that's his first goal of this game. So Canada down 3. But there's still a lot of time left in this. 9.5 minutes still to go. You can tell this Canadian side has quite a bit of synergy amongst its Oh my gosh, players. A lot of synergy amongst their players. Several of them all playing together on the same club in Montreal, Quebec, Sporting Montreal. I think there's a total of, I think we saw 7 on the roster that all came from Sporting. And they just came off of winning the regular season within the Quebec League. So this is a high quality team of players, and Canada decided to grab 7 of those individuals to represent the country, which is kind of the opposite of what we see on the USA roster, where we have several players from a lower tier team from MASL. So if these are not the best of the best in MASL, why do we have so many of them on our futsal team? Just interesting. I know that, and I know, guys, I know standard standings for teams doesn't directly correlate to the level of talent on teams. Uh, but to see so many players from one team representing the country, you would imagine that that's the top team in that country, right? Get in a little more of this mate. Make sure I make it through this stream with you guys. I've been chasing little munchkins today, and it's been a warm day, which I'm not used to because I'm in Ohio in the United States. We've had some up and downs and some cold rain for the last week. We got to enjoy the solar eclipse with some nice weather on Monday, and then it's rained every day since here. So really not a great opportunity for us to get out and get some fresh air. A couple of days where it's been just warm enough to leave the sliding glass door open and get some fresh air in the house, but uh, today got up in the high 70s, so we got a little spoiled today. Little teaser for what's to come for us here later in the year. Canada's speed slowed down a little bit on offense, I've noticed. Maybe being a little more uh, thoughtful about their plays, but their defensive efforts have still been extremely high energy, extremely high level. Canada with a kick in a dangerous position, but it goes all the way across the court. Cuba's able to relieve some pressure, but Canada right back on the wall on the ball. Sorry, I'm so tongue tied today, guys. My goodness. A little bit of a free for all at the moment. The ball's loose. Canada comes up with it right in front of the arc for Panama. Does it result in a shot? It does. Great kick save from the Panamanian goalkeeper to keep them uh, at the same scoreline, 5-2. That looked like it was tracking for back post. He's able to drop into that kick save and keep it away. Deflects out for a corner, but and that's a best case scenario coming out of that one. That was a nice little play by Canada to generate some quick offense. And their corner kick results in a shot that is wide. Cuba with a quick shot. Or excuse me, Panama with a quick shot. Man, if Cuba shoots in this game, that's impressive. Another quick save from the Canadian keeper. He looks for a distribution down to the pivot, but it's snuffed out by the Panamanian goalkeeper. Now, Panama looking at a high press here against Canada, trying to choke out some opportunity. Great movement off the ball from Canada. This is what Luke and I criticized USA for when they lost the Dominican Republic today, is that there was no movement off the ball, very stagnant, not a lot of heart in their play, not a lot of energy with the exception of just a few people. And Canada's the opposite. They're down 3. Oh, look at this. They're down 2. Canada's drive and determination is very admirable and makes them easy to cheer for. I can tell you that. I really don't have a dog in the fight in this one, but a nice 1, 2, 3 passes between two players to work their way down Panama's half. One of those passes may be slightly lucky, but the goal ultimately a back heel because Quemi, who's been on the score sheet several times for Canada in this tournament, was actually somewhat tripping backwards and had no choice but to backheel that thing, but he was right on the goal line and was able to do something about it. 5.5 to go. Canada was looking down a similar scoreline last night when they were facing Cuba. They were down for a lot of the match and grinding back and losing tide, losing tide. Let's see if they can find some late game heroics again. And if they pull another draw out of this, you got to think they're going to end up being one of the best third place teams and making it through for sure to that quarterfinal. And with them being in the group that they are, I believe this. Let me see if I can find my schedule for this game. So just kind of taking a look at a glance here. Group A, Costa Rica and Mexico both with 2 wins. Haiti and Suriname both with 2 losses. As I'm looking at this, Panama's got a player down, so there is a stoppage in play. Looks like they got ice on a knee out there. But Haiti and Suriname will face each other tomorrow. They've been punching bags to Mexico and Costa Rica. Mexico actually has the most goals of the tournament of any team, believe it or not. Costa Rica gave up. Here's a fun fact for you guys. When Costa Rica played Haiti yesterday, there was uh, an issue with the amount of subs for Haiti. They had 2 injuries within the first 90 seconds or so of the second half and ultimately had to forfeit after that. The score at that time was 8-3, and that was the score that stood for the results. 3 goals against Costa Rica is the most goals against them in recent history in their winning ways since they've been winning this tournament the last few years in a row, few iterations in a row, excuse me. And then today, Haiti facing Mexico put up a hell of a fight as well and seemed to have a few more subs available to them. So there was some more opportunity. But you got to imagine with Haiti and Suriname, Group A is probably not going to produce one of the top third place teams to round out that quarterfinal. So if you guys don't know, top 2 from each 3 of the groups make it through automatically. And then the 2 best third place teams across all the groups is who represents those last few slots. So then you look at this group, Group B, and you've got Nicaragua, Cuba, Panama, and Canada, all very evenly matched sides. And I would suspect that with points already being shared at one point in this, now we see a timeout here, another break in the action as we're chatting here. I've got to imagine that Group B's third place team is going to wrap up one of those slots. I don't see how they don't. Especially when you look over at Group C, which has been considered the group of death. And you have Dominican Republic, Guatemala, Trinidad and Tobago, and United States all fighting it out. and the Dominican Republic and Guatemala, when they faced each other, Dominican Republic only lost by 2 to Guatemala, and then they pick up the result today against the USA. And so their next opponent, Dominican's next opponent, is Trinidad, who's yet to win a game. They've been out of it by 2 to 3 goals per game. They look decent in the first half today, but I don't think they look good enough to win a game against the Dominican Republic. Now it could turn into the wild, wild west out here, and the results could be all over the place. But the United States is, in my mind, definitely not beating Guatemala tomorrow. So they're going to come out of this with only their win against Trinidad, and they're going to need help from elsewhere in other groups for them to qualify, unless they get a miracle from Trinidad tomorrow helping them out. And I just don't see that happening. That's just one guy's opinion. I could very well be wrong. And I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on this stuff. Don't let me just spout my opinion and you guys not chime in. I am here to hear from you guys. 4 minutes, 10 seconds to go. Canada's got to kick in a dangerous place here against Panama. Deep in their side of the court. Canada flying their goalkeeper as well. They're playing the fifth attacker. Again, they're doing a much better job than the United States did flying the keeper today. The guy's actually moving around. That's usually helpful. Oh, a wayward pass from Canada and a long shot from Panama. Goal. Taking advantage. It's at high risk, high reward. Really sloppy pass from Canada through the middle that went straight to a Panamanian defender. And then it's an easy long shot for the goal. They now have a 3-goal cushion on Canada. Nice little lift. Not overdoing it, not overthinking it. Just a nice brush across the body. Nice, simple lift. Smart and calm and comfortable for Panama. That's Claudio Goodridge. Not his first time on the score sheet this tournament. Canada still pressing hard. Flying goalkeeper switching sides now. I'm loving this. This is exactly how this should go. If you guys watched the USA game today and thought that's how a fifth attacker works, then I hope you're watching now and seeing how it's really supposed to work. Unfortunately, they just keep getting countered by Panama, and they're getting punished. Panama scores again. Goalkeeper with a punt to put it into the back of the net. So the goalkeeper is on the score sheet for Panama. And he runs all the way down to the other side in celebration. Probably doesn't find himself down there too often. Why not during a goal celebration? There you go. Well placed. Canada opts to stop the bleeding. They pulled the fifth attacker. That's the other crazy thing. You know, if you guys tuned in earlier, I was really losing my mind and fired up. You guys you guys have not seen me that way very much on this channel at all. I mean, there's been a couple of times I've gotten opinionated on the live stream, but it doesn't last long and we move on. But man, I was just so frustrated with the United States today and watching these other teams play and knowing that their organizations are in similar positions to the United States and seeing how poorly we do is just so frustrating. And watching this Canadian side is refreshing even when they're losing. They just don't give up. They play hard. They're never done. What do we have here? Is this a penalty? Oh, you know what? I think they played their goalkeeper twice. So this is going to be an indirect kick just outside of the arc. It is played off the penalty kick spot. but Panama can defend this. So you're gonna see that the arc is packed with players here. It's gonna be chaos here for a minute. Canada has a chance here to pull one back and get within 3 goals with 2:46 to go. Back heel shot. Panamanian goalkeeper comes up big and gets the deflection and blocks that as well. They got a corner kick for Canada, but very well done by the Panamanian keeper. Canada looking to reset, create some space, find a way to break through this defense. Cuba high-fiving and celebrate, or I keep saying Cuba. Panama high-fiving and celebrating during a timeout here. They know that with this 4-goal cushion, they've got a really good chance of making it through this last 2 minutes and 20 seconds with a win. It would take a very strong act and effort from Canada to pull any points out of this one at this point. Couple of costly turnovers for Canada really hurt them tonight, in my opinion. The level of play is good. The strategy seems good. They've mixed it up a couple times to try and put Panama on their heels. But Panama is just like they were yesterday, just very calm, cool, consistent, playing their game. Took a couple of freebies and made sure they capitalized on it. Canada still fighting hard, not giving up. I love this about this team. These guys are getting doubled and triple teamed, and they're not giving up. They're still fighting through it, fighting like their lives are on the line. I love it. That's how it should be. Shot for Canada there, deflected, but they're able to scoop up the deflection and ooh, just wide as a long shot comes in on a reset. Minute 45 now. Yeah, the goalkeeper dove pretty far for that one, got a piece of it. But I don't think that was going to be on frame, but always better safe than sorry, and athletic effort from the Panamanian goalkeeper there. Wow. Just shots on shots on shots for Canada, continuing to fight like hell. Only about 90 seconds to go here. Panama 7, Canada 3. Looking for a foul that wasn't there. Panama was. But Canada a little too eager to get that kick in going. And it looks like the ball was rolling while they kicked it, so they're going to lose it here. I love how animated the Panama coach is. Go. All right. Am I live? Is the question. Let's see. If you guys are staring at me, staring at my phone, I just want to see if this made it back online. All right, hey, we're back. Okay, guys. Hello. So I don't know how or why, but it sounds like lightning struck right by my house. All I heard was the thunder. I didn't see the flash because I'm down in my basement. We were in the last 40 seconds of this match, and I lost everything. I had a flash. Aquarium was out. Lights were out. Computer's setup died. So hopefully you guys are able to make it back in and find me again. Hopefully you didn't come give up on me and come to hang out with us for Cuba versus Nicaragua. That's going to go live here in about 10 minutes. So with that in mind, I'm going to take advantage of us having a little bit of this hiccup here. Canada did go on to lose to Panama. So we'll just leave that updated the way it is for now. I want to just kind of check on the rest of the house if you guys don't mind. Check on my little girls. I don't know how that didn't wake them up. Got a text from the wife while I was setting this back up saying they're still asleep. I mean, that thunder was loud. I heard it through noise canceling headphones. So, oh my goodness. I guess we're gonna get a little thunderstorm tonight from that's typical Ohio. If you guys aren't familiar with Ohio in the United States, uh Ohio just does weird stuff with weather. Oh, you had a really nice day today? 75 degrees. Here's a thunderstorm. Is punishment. Can't have it all. Oh, you guys want to see a solar eclipse? That's no problem, but it's going to rain the rest of the week. So enjoy that little bit of sunshine that's interrupted because there's an eclipse. Funny stuff, man. I love it. I love this place. First thing every Ohioan ever does is complain about weather because we get all four seasons. It's either too hot or it's too cold or your allergies are killing you. There's just all this stuff. So, uh, but hey, we are back. We are live. We're going to sit tight as we get closer to kickoff, which is 10 p.m. Eastern with Cuba versus Nicaragua. Power is back, so hopefully I don't lose power again. We'll see what this storm does. Let me end this poll. Let's get a fresh one up. Let's see what people are thinking. What do you guys think? Those of you that might be dribbling back in for the next one. Can I be honest with you guys? I think that my Achilles heel, one of the things I don't know, do you guys have words that you get like just can't spell right no matter how many times you type them? For me, and it's silly, it's not that hard, but I have to think about Nicaragua every time I type it out. And I do this, so I look like Nicaragua. I mean, I'm always like slow spelling it in my head. Anybody else feel that way about a word? I'm curious what the word is. Cuba. That's an easy one, at least. If I have problems with that one, you guys need to put me into one of those special hospitals. You know what I mean? Hey, Birmingham Futsal, welcome to the stream. I don't know if you were here when we lost power, but I'm glad you're here. Had a good day until US played. Man, I'll tell you what. Luke and I, Luke and I did watch that live, and I couldn't help but be furious the whole time. I'm probably not a good look for people who are new to the channel. But man, I was fired up. Just lazy play from the players, lack of heart, and there really just wasn't. Man, there was no creativity out there. David's here. Hey, Santa Fe Gloom. Hey, I was watching you guys off to the side last night while we were watching Nicaragua versus Panama. That was a wild game, man. I'm sorry you guys are out of the playoffs, but whoo, that was an entertaining one. That was no shortage of drama. What a way to end your first season. I mean, lots to build on, lots to be excited about. Discussing. Hopefully tomorrow is better. I agree. Birmingham Futsal. Uh, you know, it's hard, right? Because I don't want to come right out and start blaming people for results, but I have been saying from the very beginning, and I think we had some private conversations about it early on, but I knew the minute that Dushan was let go, that US futsal was going to take a step back. And they certainly look that way in this tournament. It is so clearly arena soccer players playing futsal. There's no movement off the ball. There's no creativity like we typically see from futsal players. And then our token futsal player on the team, Luciano Gonzalez, isn't even trying out there today. I mean, he just looked like he wanted to throw a fit the whole game instead of play. His body language said it all. And then he's our fifth attacker and he's not racing back after losing the ball. He's jogging back. Did not care. And the Dominican Republic was literally running drills on us today. I don't know if people realize that. The way that CONCACAF posted about them winning and, oh, a thrilling historical win for the Dominican Republic. And it's like, I don't know about thrilling, but certainly a historic win for them. I don't think they've beaten the United States here recently. I know we beat them in the quarterfinals 3 years ago, and it was a close affair. Um, but like it was futsal versus futsal, and it was entertaining. Sad state of affairs for sure. Yeah, yeah, for sure. No change in strategy, which I can't help but blame the coaching staff for. We throw out a fifth attacker, but our attack strategy itself doesn't actually change. We're just doing it with an extra player. I don't understand. I really don't. I'm disappointed. I'm a, I don't want to say I'm heartbroken. I've been talking with Luke off stream, and I've said in some videos and some live streams that we would take a step back and that I was skeptical that we would get one of these World Cup slots based on us being in this big transition between coaches during a World Cup qualifying year. Never usually a good thing for a team. Uh, so I've always been skeptical. There are some receipts you could find if you dig through the videos and through the live streams where I have the very least allude to that. Um, I don't mean to say that like I'm bragging on Nostradamus. I'm more like Nostradamus. But I I just have never really been confident the minute they appointed an arena soccer coach to be a futsal coach. This is just like when Keith Tozer was doing it, and it's all arena soccer players playing on a hard surface. You can even tell by the way we were shooting today. Just wild shots that aren't even really on frame. That plexiglass isn't there to save you anymore. You're not playing arena soccer. You can't play off the deflections that you get in arena soccer. It's just a waste of a possession. And if we're not going to run straight back and defend the counter, then why do it in the first place? Just kick it out of bounds to the side then. If you don't want a legitimate shot, if you don't think you can get through the pressure there, that's safer. I don't know. I'm so frustrated. It hurts. Okay, I'm gonna check on the rest of the house and make sure that this this thunderstorm didn't do anything too stressful to just quick items like the refrigerator and stuff. Hit this aquarium really quick. You guys will get to see me feed the fish, and then we're gonna have game time here in about 4 minutes. We'll see what the teams look like here. We'll update the score bug, and we'll catch our last game of the night. All right, guys. See you soon. Okay, let's do this first. Let you guys watch the fish through the algae if you can. All right, guys, we are back. The house is in order, as in order as it can be during a situation like that. Luckily, nothing too crazy. When you look at the radar by the house here, there's two teeny tiny little cells, little thunderstorms rolling through. But man, they're short, but they're mean. They are. There's a hell of a light show going on outside of the house right now, and we had some lightning strike really close to the house. But everything's up and running. One of my dogs is really afraid of thunderstorms. She's under the bed, so she's safe. The other one oblivious, but most importantly, the two munchkins somehow slept through that. I don't know if you guys were on when I said it earlier, but uh, I could hear the thunder through my noise canceling headphones. It was so close. So, and I'm in the basement as well. So through concrete and through noise canceling headphones. So it must have been close. We're going through national anthems now. Just finished Cuba's. We're now looking at Nicaragua. While that's going on, I did want to share with you guys. I don't know how much of Haiti you've seen, um, but Coach Otto, who used to be on the coaching staff for the United States, is an assistant coach now for Haiti, as his good friend is helping with that program. And he did send over, and oh, I lost that tab when we lost power. Hang on just a second here. So I know these smaller countries, sometimes we see them getting beaten up and we don't really appreciate what they're going through sometimes. And these guys have been through the ringer. So let me pull this up for you guys, and then I'm going to change the score bug for us as well as our next step here. All right, let's take a look at this. So this is a message from Otto to our parents and folks that are tied to our academy or anything else we do in Akron, Ohio. Just in case you're interested in the story behind the Haitian journey to this event, not only historic but something truly special. So I'm quickly writing to share a little bit with you. The collaboration between the United States, Canada, and Haiti, the involvement of the U.S. Marines, U.S. Embassy, Haitian Canadians were led by my good friend Connie Constant. Connie is a passionate futsal teacher, but most importantly, he is an advocate for the world representing the U.S. and futsal, teaching the next generation of coaches how to continue spreading the futsal gospel, all the while humbly treating every person and player he touches with a kindness and respect not often found in today's world. The boys traveled for 4 days, over 18 hours, on two buses, crossing the border into the Dominican Republic out of the chaos that has been Haiti over the past 3 weeks. The U.S. ambassador and staff facilitated American visas for the boys so they could fly to Miami, then another flight to Houston, and finally a third flight to make it to Nicaragua only 2 hours before the start of yesterday's match. Donations of shoes and balls from Heart and Soul Futsal Academy family helped to make the young players have shoes on their feet before the match. The players speak a Creole version of French, which makes it difficult to communicate, and the assistant coach is overwhelmed with constant translation during the game. All this and so much more. Yet, the Haitian boys, who are aged between 19 and 24, with only the goalkeeper at 28 years old, managed to score 3 times, more than any more than any other team over the past 8 years against four-time CONCACAF champion Costa Rica. You may hear more about this amazing accomplishment by this team of administrators and players, but if not, just know that there are sports stories that change lives and the future for the better, and this one is truly something special. Thanks, Connie, once again for asking me to be a part of another crazy, beautiful futsal experience. Enjoy the games, Otto. So, really crazy backstory on Haiti. So, if you guys caught that game yesterday, Luke did a watch party with us uh, in my stead because I couldn't be here, and we only really got to watch the first half. And about 90 seconds into the second half, Haiti had two major injuries that dropped them down to two field players and a goalkeeper. Uh, they did one play. Costa Rica instantly scored, and everyone kind of realized, hey, this isn't going to work. And Haiti was kind of forced to forfeit the match. So I saw some people a little fired up about that and kind of commenting on CONCACAF social media pages and questioning their presence in the tournament and how it was kind of embarrassing. Today they had more players, and now you know why yesterday that was that way. I mean, these poor guys, they had to get out of the country. First of all, if anybody knows what's going on in Haiti, it's a really big mess right now. It's bad, really bad. I mean, there's no food. The gangs of Haiti are fighting their government. I mean, it's civil war. Uh, and so these guys had to basically be snuck out of the country through the Dominican Republic and then fly through the United States in a big wraparound to Nicaragua just to get there. And they got there 2 hours before their kickoff. I mean, talk about playing through adversity. So these guys are jet lagged. They've been traveling for 4 days. They jump on the court and represent their country. So, yeah, there's going to be some injuries. That's asking a lot of any player, even these young guys. So, I just wanted to share that with you guys, get that word out there. These Haitians are fighting through some massive adversity, and they've got a really heavy burden on their minds as they try and focus on this tournament, and they have to worry about what's going on back home with their families. Any other mate drinkers out there in the chat? Oh, great find. Oh, so we're about 2 minutes into this match while I was chit chatting and telling you guys that story about. And both teams have had a couple nice looks so far. Let me update our score bug. Let's get these logos fixed up real nice. This might take a second before it updates for you guys, but I am working on it. Okay, getting there. All right, Cuba is in red. Ugh. Change this to white. Might be a little easier to see. Cuba's in red with blue shorts. Nicaragua is playing in white, of course, with blue trim. Let's do this and make this look a little more aesthetically pleasing for you guys. And of course, it is 0-0. And we're back in the first half here. Here we go. Okay, we should be all set. Curious to see what you guys have to say in the chat. See what you think about everything that's going on so far in the tournament. Sound off about any of the games as we watch the very last one here of the night. I'm curious what you guys think of everything that's going on. Update our little ticker at the bottom too with our scores. Canada 3. I believe it was to 7, right? Yes. Okay. For those of you that might just be tuning in and you're wondering why this is just me watching the game and you guys aren't seeing anything, uh, due to copyright, I cannot show the game. So we're going to do this as kind of a partner to the game. I know a lot of people have been having a hard time accessing this. CONCACAF made it tough this year. Remember 3 years ago it was accessible to everybody, but it was also COVID going on. So I think that they kind of felt they needed to open up the channels. But now, based on TV right deals, I'm sure USA is actually geo blocked to watch these games, which is frustrating. So if you are in the United States and trying to catch this game and you're struggling, it's not your fault. I'd recommend grabbing a VPN. You could even log into Mexico, pretty much any other country but the US. And then if you go back to the YouTube channel, then you should be able to find these streams. Cuba is tough. Yes, Cuba is tough. I think Cuba and Panama are an easy 1-2 here, first and second to wrap up this group. And then I could see Canada being one of those best third place teams that moves on to fill out that quarterfinal slots. That's kind of my prediction. Going into the tournament, I mentioned I hope that Nicaragua having some home court advantage could work some magic, but they are massive underdogs. This is a young team as well, kind of like the Haitian side. You can kind of tell in the way that they play, but they seem a little starstruck. They seem to kind of be lacking a little bit of confidence. I'm curious to see if now they got a game under their belt in this tournament, if that'll change anything, if they'll play a little more confident. Looks like the crowd's a little lighter than it was last night for them as well. A lot of the crowd leaving early, unfortunately, during that game, and the game was far from over, in my opinion. So that was a little disheartening. I was really hoping for a real nice turnout of fans for Nicaragua here. Curious when the United States will be able to host this. We certainly have the arenas to do it. You really only need one for a tournament of this size. Nicaragua's proving it. Everything's being done in one building here. 2-hour intervals on kickoffs. And we're getting what? So 12, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 6 games a day during the group stage. I guess that makes sense. 12 teams. Duh. Letting down University of Akron with my math skills here in front of all you guys. Oh, Nicaragua player down. Looks like he's able to roll out of the way, and he's hopped right back up. That's good. Cuba's going to be a tough task here for Nicaragua. This team has been doing friendlies, and they've been doing friendlies against early in the year. They were, real close shot there. Almost saw our first goal of the game. Cuba had some friendlies against Costa Rica. They had a series of games over a long weekend, and I think they won one of them and shot Costa Rica in one of those games, and then lost the other two. But they did not shy away from competition in their tune-ups, getting ready for this tournament. And they're a team that probably underperformed, I would say, in 2021 for me. I don't know a lot about the Cuban side, but I do know that they went into it favored to win their group, which included the United States, and the US ended up beating them pretty handily and ultimately winning the group that propelled them on to what ended up being their finals appearance. So this tournament, they look much stronger. And I think that without the burden of all the COVID restrictions and things, they've been able to do what they normally do to prepare for this tournament, and they look really good. JOM92, thanks for subscribing to the channel, man. If you're still here in the chat, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you being here. I appreciate all you guys being in the chat and kind of experimenting with us in this watch party format. Not anything I've ever done on the channel before. Another close call. Cuba almost scored. We've not done anything like this on the channel before. Uh, Two reasons primarily for that. For me, I try to do my best to help the NFPL with their streams. So for me to do a watch party and to detract from that as a volunteer probably doesn't make a ton of sense right now. Maybe as the NFPL continues to grow and they don't need me anymore, and I can strictly be a fan. Um, then I'll do something like this for NFPL streams, which I think could be fun. But outside of that, I would kind of have to cherry pick games when I'm free in other countries, and I'm just not sure how effective that would be based on what my current subscriber base is. But we've gotten to meet some really interesting people by doing this through this CONCACAF Championship tournament here. So maybe that's something we need to continue to do. And if you guys follow a league and you know where it streams in any of these other countries within CONCACAF, I'm very interested in following the domestic leagues in these countries. So feel free to share your links. If you go to the description of this video, you'll see there's a Discord there. If you guys participate in Discord, we've got a community there. And anytime I find live streams anywhere in the world, I share those links to those games there so people can watch as much futsal as possible when they want to. Uh, so primarily now, I'm really dialed in with the Argentinian League. I'm really dialed in with NFPL, and I'm pretty dialed in with Riga Futsal Club in Latvia, trying to send those. And I'm currently talking with some folks in England who are working on revamping uh, their YouTube streams there in England for NFS. And with their scene growing there, with futsal people taking care of futsal in England, I think that there's good things to come. And they have a TV rights deal that's expiring, which should allow them to air more on YouTube. So I'm excited for that. Nicaragua doing a good job of keeping Cuba out right now. There's been two or three close calls that have just missed the post for Cuba. So they're in the hunt. Definitely had the lion's share of the offensive opportunities. But Nicaragua fighting hard, trying to keep them out, trying to keep them away from that first goal. Curious what you guys are doing out there. How was the day? What did you do other than watch futsal? I was able to celebrate my nephew's birthday. He just turned 2 today. There's our first goal. Cuba with a beautiful futsal play, finding the back post. Nice use of the court. And a nice easy back post goal here. Nice little tap in on the slide for number 4 from Cuba. That would be Jorge Gonzalez, who plays for La Habana back in Cuba. La Habana, probably. So there we go, 1-0. We see. Oh, I never updated this score for you guys. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. You are looking at possibly the worst YouTuber ever here. How does Nicaragua respond? See, I love that. That's one of the things I love about futsal too. Uh, right there, we saw the Nicaraguan player. He got fouled, a little bit of a late challenge from the Cuban player, but not enough that was keeping him from staying on his feet. So he continued to play. And I just absolutely love that. That's one of the things I love about futsal is it's more about staying on your feet, playing. There's not that tactical aspect of I'm going to fake a foul here uh, or try and dive. It doesn't do you any good because the clock stops. It doesn't kill any momentum, really. Oh, close call there for Nicaragua. They almost answered just outside of the post. Loving the fight and the drive of these teams. Nicaragua showing it against adversity. Canada has shown it. I talked about it all night tonight during their game. Uh, they they are teams that were down today that didn't play like they were down goals. They continue to fight. They continue to battle, and that's the kind of stuff we were missing from the United States today. And it's no surprise that they lost. If anybody saw how they played today, just embarrassing. They're already thinking about the plane ride home. Great to see some friendly faces in the chat, David and Birmingham Futsal. Glad to see you guys tonight. That made my night. Cuba definitely in control here. The score line probably not doing them enough justice for their effort. But Nicaragua fighting hard, man. Giving them credit. Big time. Unnecessary turnover there, though, for Nicaragua. I want to try and look something up here while this game is going on. Let's see if I can find some results from the Africa Cup of Nations that we could share with you guys as well. Ooh, I don't know if this is being updated. It's not. Dang. Maybe we can find something better here. This has been a frustrating year. This is a World Cup year. And I just don't understand why the regions can't give us a little more effort to expose some futsal to the people. Yeah, can't find anything too informative other than Morocco is at the top of Group A and Egypt is at the top of Group B right now. It's really not a surprise. That's how it's probably expected by most experts in the game. Um, Morocco over in Group A, and then Egypt over in Group B. If you guys saw my video on that, we did put a video out the day that they went live because they were. I thought it was helping because they said they were going to be on YouTube, and I wanted to drive people that way and watch it with you guys and talk about it. But they just didn't happen, or USA's geo blocked again. I don't know. But Morocco, Angola, Ghana, and Zambia in Group A, Egypt, Libya, Namibia, and Mauritania in Group B. And Mauritania actually earned their spot because Cameroon was uh, essentially kicked from the contest. They were banned from this contest for this year because in the last cycle they withdrew at the last minute during qualifications and screwed everything up. So CAF said, "Hey, you're not coming to the next one. Then you're not invited. We'll show you. You can't quit. You're fired." But Mauritania has been a great addition to this tournament. They've played some pretty impressive futsal from the highlights I've seen. The following Futsal Focus. There's another Twitter. What's the name of that one? I believe it was Total Futsal. If you want to follow them on Twitter, they've been posting some results as well. Or no, excuse me, Total Futsal is following England right now. It was World Futsal was the name of this of the guy. Futsal World. I'm sorry. Third time's a charm. Futsal World 4 on Twitter has been trying to help us follow that. And then I believe midweek this week, we see the last four teams in UEFA fight for the last two slots. So Croatia and Poland are facing each other. And Croatia has a lead from leg one that they're looking to defend. And then the Netherlands and Finland tied in their first game. And they're looking to break that tie and see who advances to that final slot. I'm going to sneeze. I muted in time. Okay, we're good. Netherlands and Finland is an interesting one. Those are two countries that are up and coming in futsal. They've invested quite a bit recently. Would love to see either of those teams in a World Cup. I believe the Dutch hosted the last men's Euro, and they did a beautiful job with it. Great hype videos. The marketing was exceptional. Just really good. Really, really good. And then I'll be looking to put out another video at some point this week as well for you guys to kind of go over what's going on in the AFC. The Asian Football Confederation, I believe is how that goes. They will be having their tournament, I believe the 17th through the 21st. So it's going to overlap CONCACAF as well. So we got four of the regions right now all playing games that are going to decide who represents them in the World Cup in September. So April's going to have us drinking from a fire hose as far as information and seeing who rounds out that Uzbekistan crew. Great little move here by Nicaragua, but ran out of court space. They're still fighting hard. Still only 1-0. Just under 5 minutes to go in the first half. So just as a little preview, that AFC Futsal Asian Cup. Grab the groups here. It's being hosted in Thailand. Thailand probably favorites. And they are in Group A. They will be facing Vietnam, Myanmar, and China. Surely favorites to top that group. Vietnam up and coming as well, but still not quite where Thailand is. Thailand recently has shown some chinks in the armor. They're not quite as dominant as they have been in years past, in the off years of this cycle, but certainly still very good. And then Group B sees Uzbekistan, who has already qualified for the World Cup by being hosts. Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Australia. Australia looking pretty good here recently in their recent tournament that they participated in. Saudi Arabia always good. Iraq Seems to always be a dark horse in these kinds of things. If Uzbekistan qualifies and moves forward, then that slot that they may earn through placement in this tournament gets passed down to the next team. So that's how that'll work. And it's still good touches for Uzbekistan as they still need to tune up for this tournament just like everybody else. So kind of cool to see there. Group C sees Japan, Tajikistan, Korea Republic, and the Kyrgyz Republic. Uh, Japan, I would normally say favorites, but they're dealing with some major injuries with their top Fixo and their top Pivo. So we'll see if they're deep enough to on the bench to move forward and earn some slots in the World Cup. And then Group D, powerhouses Iran will be facing off against Kuwait, Bahrain, and Afghanistan. Iran definitely going to run away with that group, in my opinion. When you look at Iran, when you look at Thailand, and you can even say Japan, even with their injuries, those guys should top their groups without too much fanfare. Meanwhile, this Cuba Nicaragua game has been a grind for both teams. Both teams just grinding it out, not quite getting those opportunities lately in this final third. Hard challenge there from Cuba, but fair. They're able to disrupt a counterattack from Nicaragua. Just like I said, this is it's been a grind. Physical, but not malicious. And just a huge effort from both teams. Yeah, fair play. They just replayed the hard challenge and looks good to me. Entertaining stuff. Now 3 minutes to go in the first half. A lot of back and forth between these two teams. Curious who settles in and is able to break this up a little bit, if at all. This could just be a grind the whole game. If you guys missed the other streams from yesterday, we were kind of talking about who we think our top four are going to be. I picked my top three as being Costa Rica, Panama, and then let me see, what was my third? Let me pull it back up here. I think I wrote it down on the or saved it on the computer rather to see if I was right. Guatemala, and then for that fourth spot, I could see Cuba or Canada, really, depending on how this group shakes out, taking that fourth spot. A little bit controversial on day one with folks that I did not think USA would get the fourth spot. I think it's possible, but unlikely. I think we're going to take a big step back this year. We overachieved in the last CONCACAF Futsal Championship as well. The United States did. So I think it's fair to say that maybe as fans, our expectations are maybe a little high, and they shouldn't be for that reason. I remember talking to a couple people within the team and them saying, yeah, we really, obviously we went to win, but we weren't sure we were going to make it out of the quarterfinal, and then we made it all the way to the final. So dream run for the United States. Just not quite meant to be against Costa Rica, but we were in that match the whole time, only losing by one. Really good team then. Uh, and taking advantage of a lot of disruption in the real world to put our best foot forward and disrupt the futsal world a little bit and remind them that the United States is involved in it. And then just one cycle later, we're right back where we started. Appreciate you guys all tuning in with me, doing this watch party stuff. Love to see if it's something viable we could continue to do. That first day, as people were dealing with the confusion around the streams, we had a pretty big crowd in our stream. We were also able to sneak in some of the footage at that time. I'm sure that helped too. Today, a little lighter because you're really just staring at me. It's not the greatest scenario compared to watching the game. And at me and my receding hairline compared to actually watching some good futsal. So uh, I also understand that in today's day and age, most people are watching YouTube or streams on their mobile device. So to run two streams at once is not possible. Um, I like for me personally, just the way that my personal life is. I'm fortunate that my little kids go down, and I'm able to creep down into the basement and watch futsal in the evening to kind of decompress for the day. So I'm able to watch it on a PC and enjoy it this way with you guys and be able to have a couple different windows open. So I really like the idea of these watch companions because I'm usually watching by myself and then I get to enjoy it virtually with somebody else. Another goal for Cuba. Oh, wonderful. It came on a counterattack, a double team on a Nicaraguan attacker, and able to get back before the Nicaraguan defense can settle. Goalkeeper gets the first one, but deflects it right back to the shooter, and he doesn't make the mistake the second time and puts it away. A little bit of momentum here to close out the first half for Cuba. Let's see if they keep it going. Can they punch one more in, or can Nicaragua change their fares here? Less than a minute to go. 52 seconds. And we'll be done with this first half. Nicaragua still searching. They found 3 goals against the tough Panama. Shot clock looks off to me, or the timer, I should say. It's reading about 30 seconds, but it looked like it was running before the goalkeeper played the ball there on the last goalie throw. Unless I misinterpreted what was going on. Ooh. Yellow card for the Nicaragua player there. He collided with a Cuban player. That was a tough situation. It all happened pretty quick. Uh, Hard challenge on the Nicaraguan player with the ball about half court. Uh, he gets away, but in an effort to retain the ball, he ends up taking out a second Cuban defender that beats him to that ball. Slow mo can make a peck on the cheek look like an assault sometimes, but I mean, there's certainly something there. I could totally understand why the referee called that. Definitely a tough one for the player. He's got to feel a little hard done by that because he was in a bit of a blender himself, but just nothing malicious there. Nothing else for the referee to call. So halftime, 2-0 in favor of Cuba. So we're gonna have a few minutes to hang out here until the second half goes. I'm going to step aside for just a moment and come straight back, and we'll hang out, talk about whatever you guys want to talk about to fill the time, and see what the second half has for us. Does Nicaragua kill this 2-goal deficit and create some magic here in front of their home fans, or is Cuba going to march on? We'll find out. All right, guys, I'm back. Still in halftime. We're watching some highlights from last year. Got some company with me, actually. I got followed down. Let's see if we can get this guy on the screen. Come on up here. Come on. I know you're not allowed. Jump up here. Come on. Come on up here. Let me see you. All you guys are getting is some tail action. Uh-oh. And the other one is almost destroying the set. Got two dogs in the house here with us. Both black labs. Got an older female here. She's about 8. She's not going to hop up here for you guys, but maybe I can get the youngster. I could get him to hop up here, the 3-year-old. His name's Iro. He loves the attention. Hey, come on, buddy. Hop up here. Let me see you. Hey, come here. Sit. Good. See some paws. Okay. Let's see if we can get you up here. You stand up. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Now you're famous. Yes, now you're famous. You're a famous boy. Yes. There he is, guys. He loves good ear rub. There you go, buddy. Score bug's a little bit in the way, but you get the idea. There you go, Buster. All right, good boy. Now the trick will be keeping him from doing that the rest of the stream because now he thinks he's allowed, right? Good boy. What do you guys think of the game so far today, those of you that are still in the chat? I'll put it this way to kind of kick things off while any of you might be typing. The big teams are not surprising. They're performing as well as I think everyone expected them to. Costa Rica, maybe not quite as sharp. Or, when you're let me say this, though. Maybe I don't think that's fair. Maybe I should take that back. Costa Rica is the cream of the crop for CONCACAF. So everyone's out to get them. Everyone's going to come with their best game against Costa Rica. We even saw it from Haiti. So I think that's definitely a portion of it. But they're winning games and they're getting results as they should. Guatemala, even when they were down 2-0 to Trinidad and had a rough half, they came back and absolutely capitalized and didn't let off the gas pedal. Not surprising. Panama looks consistent in both games for them. They look calm, cool, collected. Cuba, the same. They fought a very tough Canada yesterday. They didn't lose their composure. Sure, they only came out with a tie, but I know that from talking to my friends in Canada that I recently made here in January, that they felt confident going into this contest that they could be that 4th team that gets that World Cup bid the way that they've been playing. And their leagues seem a little more organized than, say, like the U.S. is. So it's interesting. I think the only real surprise for anybody so far, results-wise, was that Dominican Republic beating the U.S. today. But if you saw the way the U.S. played yesterday, I told Luke while we were on the live stream, I didn't think that we would have an easy time with the Dominican Republic today the way we played yesterday. And sure enough, we were down the entire game. We were never winning in that game. We never looked like we were going to win in that game. And it's just not very convincing from the United States right now. A little bit of an identity crisis. And it needs to be fixed immediately if they've got any chance of sneaking through this tournament into the quarterfinal. They need a miracle against Guatemala tomorrow. They'll probably be looking for some help elsewhere too. They kind of need Trinidad to win the game and create some chaos in that table. But that's asking a lot of the futsal gods. I'm curious too what you think about the content so far on this kind of stuff from the channel. Would you guys like to see some more interaction? Uh, are you looking for something like subscriber notifications, like you see in like a traditional stream? Are you looking for more active polls in the chat? Right now, I've just been asking who people think are going to win and keeping it fairly simple. But if we want to see more polls, we can work on that. I don't have full capabilities to do some of the stuff that we want to do here, like we could on Twitch with some of the custom emojis, stuff like that. But we've been struggling with our Twitch streams. I've tried a couple times with Luke to see if we can go live there, and the multi streams just haven't been very clean. We always seem to lose the Twitch stream, and so we've kind of scrapped it for now. I'd like to see us eventually do that. I'm not a huge fan of how Twitch does their business, and some of the things about Twitch I don't like, as far as control over when ads happen, stuff like that. Um, Whereas on YouTube, we've got a little more control as content creators on uh, when to, when channels do get monetized, they can somewhat control when you see ads. They can format it to what they're trying to present. So, for example, the guy that's playing video games may have ads pop up randomly every so many minutes, or maybe every time he goes back to a lobby and a new game's loading up, he throws up an ad. He or she throws up an ad. For us in the sports world, we really don't want ads going in the middle of the stream. I've noticed CONCACAF has ads going in the middle of the stream. So you'll be watching the game. This has happened several times while I've been sitting here with you guys where I'm watching the game and suddenly I'm getting ads. Uh, it's disruptive and viewers hate it. So CONCACAF could change that so that there's ads that run at halftime, ads could run at the beginning of the stream. Um, they can, I believe you can manually run ads as well. So maybe you do that during a timeout or something, run a quick ad. I don't know. You can still make your money. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't mind that happening. But I just wish it was a little more tactical. But with the effort we're seeing from the federations right now, it's no surprise that we're in the position we're in. Luke's in the chat. What's up, Luke? Hey, I've only talked about the U.S. a little bit in this one. Birmingham Futsal accidentally triggered me. They didn't mean to. But they kind of had some similar thoughts. Sad state of affairs was what I highlighted there. And then David was here a little bit earlier, too. I'm not sure if he's still in the chat. I let this mate sit too long. It got a little cold. During the Canada game, Luke, I mentioned Canada was down. They ultimately ended up losing 7-4 or 7-3. 7-3. And did Haiti finish a game? Yes, they did. So I did watch that one as well. They lost to Mexico 9-4. The game was tied 4-4 at halftime, and they just couldn't quite keep up with the pace of Mexico in the second half, and they ran away with it. So now Mexico is the highest scoring team in the entire contest, which is interesting. But they've faced two of probably the worst teams in the contest in Suriname and Haiti. And they'll face Costa Rica tomorrow. Be here in chat, but gotta do some work. Hey, that's cool. Appreciate you being here at all, man. As always. No, I demand your full attention. You get on the screen right now. You missed a dog presentation earlier too, Luke. You'll have to go back in the VOD. Committed too much too early. Yeah, they threw that fifth attacker on and it blew up in their face. And they were putting effort forward, and Panama just crushed them for it. It kind of goes back to what we were talking about during the U.S. game. Is Dominican Republic could have definitely won by more if they wanted to. I'll go, yes, sir. He's sleeping at the base of the steps right now. You've missed all kinds of drama, actually, man. So right at the end of the Canada stream, uh, there was less than a minute left, and lightning struck near the house and killed our power for a second. Literally just a surge. Everything died and kicked back on. So we lost the stream right in the last minute of the game, but luckily we were able to reset and get all our settings back up and running without too much hiccup. But yeah, so we had some real life drama, and then watching the games itself, and had a passionate speech for a moment, and then the dog made it on the stream. So, I mean, is that not YouTube content? Are we doing it right? And now I'm sitting kind of awkward because my older dog, she's afraid of thunderstorms, and instead of her usual hiding spot under the bed down upstairs, she's decided to sit at my feet. And the youngster now is knocked out at the foot of the steps, making sure I don't leave without him. Hey, Luke, is the stream quality okay? Am I skipping it all or anything? Are you not entertained? Yes, exactly. Exactly. All right, looks like we're stretching and getting ready for this second half. Would love to see Nicaragua put up a good fight here. Looks good to me. Okay, good. I keep getting that error that the keyframe frequency is off, but it doesn't seem to actually be affecting the quality of the stream. So I don't know what that deal is. Huh. I don't know. All right, we are live. We are in play. Let's see what happens here. Cuba on the ball. They go for a long ball and a quick turn on the pivot for a shot, but it is high and wide. This young Nicaraguan team, uh, flashes of brilliance, but they just can't seem to find a groove that's competitive enough to keep in the game with these guys. Same with Panama yesterday. They just couldn't quite seem to get in a good rhythm. They're playing with some jitters. Now, this is a young team, so I can understand that, even at home as hosts, that they're playing with some jitters just because they're inexperienced in a lot of ways. And that's what's hurting the U.S. right now, too. But they really have no excuse because they're an experienced team that plays competitive all the time in hostile environments. The only game I didn't catch today was the Suriname game. I caught Guatemala and Trinidad the very first game of the day. I caught the second half in pieces, so I didn't catch that full game. And then I was kind of watching the Mexico Haiti game out of the corner of my eye because I was at my nephew's birthday party. But we're dialed in here. Good last couple games. Give Canada a ton of credit, being down by 4 goals and fighting to the very final whistle. Just even went down 4, and in those last couple minutes, you could say, okay, we're going to get off the gas. We're out of this one. Not Canada. They fight hard the whole way through. And I just really admire them for that, and they deserve a ton of credit for that. Cuba playing some attractive futsal to start the second half. Seeing a lot of brushes and plays with the sole of the foot. Looks pretty. curious here. I'm gonna take a look at something. Oh, interesting. Oh, it's to give a card. Interesting. Okay. So we saw a hard foul on a Nicaraguan player, but they kept advantage and had a pretty solid looking attack. Um, Albeit only about halfway into Cuba's side. And the referee blows the whistle and kills the flow of play, but it looks like it was because he wanted to give a yellow card there. So he could do the accumulative foul and let the play go, but if he wants to give the yellow, he has to stop the play. So although that goes against the foul count, which does ultimately help Nicaragua possibly longer in the further in the game, uh, players a little upset because they would have rather had the flow of the game and hopefully had a shot on goal there. And the player's still frustrated about it. The Nicaraguan coach having to calm him down a little bit as he goes off to the bench and still animated. Cuba now back on the ball. Pretty sure that's the first foul of the half. I wish CONCACAF would put a foul count up on their score bug. It's a big part of the game. I don't understand why it's not in there. Oh, that kind of felt like the NFPL right there. The camera just took a ball to the lens. If you guys follow the domestic league in the United States, we've had some unfortunate incidents with stray balls hitting streaming equipment. And I think all two or three cases Detroit has been playing, not necessarily host, but been playing. So they must have some bad voodoo around them when it comes to the streaming, probably because they participate in FCS and those guys don't stream at all. Maybe that's some weird conspiracy voodoo going on or something. CONCACAF doing CONCACAF things. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Another yellow card for Cuba. Hard foul on the sideline. Cuban bench telling the Nicaraguan player to get up, but yeah, shoulder check did ultimately hit him in the face because he was looking to drive through. Not sure if it's yellow card worthy or not, but that's why I'm not a referee. I do not want that job. I have no interest. You can't pay me enough. I've taken some referee courses to try and educate myself a little more on the dynamic of officials, as well as the just educating myself more on the game, not just for futsal but outdoor. Um, but do I have any interest in actually putting the stripes on? No, no shot. If I want to be, I'm in sales for a living. If I want to be abused, I'll just put in some extra hours at work. Those guys have a tough job. It is so tough. It is so tough. Oh yeah, Luke sharing a picture from the NFPL Discord here in the chat. That's a safe link if you guys want to hit it. It's not going to phish your information or hack into your computer. uh, but we had an unfortunate incident in Ann Arbor where the should I say kid, the young man that was streaming the game had a stray ball come over and smash his personal laptop that he was streaming the game through. So footage cut out. Luckily, Luke was streaming from home as the resource. So even though our feed was lost, we were able to at least keep the stream going. And I give him credit. The guy who had his laptop smashed, he continued to stay in the chat and try and update the chat with the score. Unfortunately, with a black screen, but I mean, what can you do? You can't play him for that. We're gonna have to build one of those big plexiglass cages to put them in from now on. I don't know if anybody's wrestling fans, but remember back in the day when wrestling commentator Michael Cole was a heel and heckling all the wrestlers and put himself in a plexiglass box to try and protect himself from getting beat up. That's what we need. That's what we need for these guys so they can stream these games in safety. Who knew? Nicaragua's still fighting hard, still a lot of passion, still a lot of intensity, choking this thing out the best they can. They choke out a potential attack, but it ends up being a corner. It's good. Oh man, that one's way over the top from Cuba off of the corner kick. If your favorite NFL team's still looking for a kicker, we can look up this guy's name and send him your way. Oh, that's a creative through pass from Nicaragua there, but it looks like the player wasn't expected to make it through the crowd, and he didn't continue the run, so it turns into a turnover to Cuba. Great save on the near post for the Nicaragua goalkeeper. That's nice. Oh, again with a hard foul down the line. Or not a foul, but just hard play, I should say. Not a foul. Clean. Both groups of players playing a little more intense as this game goes on. Starting to trade some paint. There's the first goal for Nicaragua. What a great counter. Oh, that's nice. Good for the boys. I like that. The crowd's digging it. And that balcony is steep for that crowd. Oh, man. Don't drink too much. Wow, that was nice. That was a really nice counter. Yeah, crowd's been great. You know, I hated to see them leave early yesterday, so early, as a lot of them did. There's a big group out of the top of the balcony that ended up cutting out early, and they were only down 2 goals with like 5 to go. But otherwise, this crowd's been nice and loud. Been really enjoying it. Love seeing them show out. Luke, you don't happen to know the capacity of this arena, do you? Off the top of your head? I might try and look it up real quick. Let's see. Okay, they are at Deportivo Alexis Aguero in Managua, Nicaragua. Ask for it by name. No, yeah, I didn't think you would. I figured that was a stretch, but figured I'd ask anyway. More trying to buy myself time to look it up. Great defensive effort there from Nicaragua, hanging all over that Cuban attacker to make sure he didn't have a nice, easy shot. I mean, that's it, man. You just gotta have some fight and some passion, and you're gonna keep your fans happy, even if you're outmatched technically. You know, people just want to see you have pride in the shirt. 7,400 square meters of playing space, capacity to accommodate 8,500 fans indoors, and they have room for 11 different disciplines of games. Okay, cool. Interesting. So, about an 8,500 seat arena. If you guys are seeing the stream at all, there's some seating on the floor. It's kind of spaced out quite a bit, actually. In kind of a horseshoe shape away from the benches, and then you have your bench areas that are by themselves. Um, but this balcony is steep. I would imagine even if you're in the quote unquote nosebleed section, that you feel like you're right above the floor of the arena. Another ad. Why does CONCACAF run ads in the middle of the game? Get it together, guys. I wonder if that 8,500 capacity is including total floor space. Like if they really want to pack this in and add more seating, is that what gets them to 8,500, or is it at 8,500 before they add any additional floor seating? Because I see they got a lot of it looks like they've got a lot of resources behind the goal, behind the Cuban goal. Almost looks like possible additional seating or something. Must be the server you're on. Yeah, man. Hey, listen, they are blasting the Mexico server with ads like crazy. I've got it on my phone. I wonder if it's because I'm on mobile, because I didn't have this problem when I was running on my desktop. But I decided to run the game on my phone, Luke, and just keep everything the same as normal uh, on the PC. So I wonder if it's mobile. How dare you watch our games on the go? Here's an ad. I was on the Mexico server yesterday, and I don't remember getting ads when I was on my PC. So that must be it. I don't know. I'm a boomer and a millennial body, so I can't say much. Ten votes on the poll. I think that's our biggest response yet on these streams to a poll. 7 of you think Cuba's going to win. 3 of you think Nicaragua's going to pull this thing away. They know you're desperate. Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, that's the key to it all, isn't it? What's our viewership count right now on this? 1.4, 1,400 watching. No Copa America, but that's a decent crowd of virtual viewers, especially this late in the evening on a Sunday for a lot of people. Is Nicaragua on Central Time? I think they are. Yeah. No, they're on Mountain Time. It's 9:12 there right now, so they're 2 hours behind me. Okay. Nicaragua doing a good job of forcing some turnovers out the sidelines here, choking out Cuba up against that sideline and using them as using that sideline as almost an extra defender. I wonder if they fly the keeper only down one at some point here. It's still early. There's 11 minutes to go. Got you busy and cannot schedule time off. I'm in the same boat, Luke. I've got way too much going on at my real job to request any time off. I've got the PTO to do it, but my heart says, yeah, take the day off and watch futsal, but my brain says you're gonna regret it. Don't do it. So I'm gonna stick with it, and I'll be watching the streams from work for sure. But I got to be there. I can't not be there. I don't know. What do you think about that one, Luke? Did you see that foul? Yellow card for the coach. Oh, and some sign language so we could see what he meant. A little too much talking from the bench. Yeah, this means pretty much the same thing in every language, I think. Coach takes a seat for a minute. Assistant going to take some heat for a bit. uh, there's some things that are just universal across referees and across, certain like hand gestures and things that you're just like, oh, I know what that means. I don't care what language it's in. If Cuba get into, yeah, hey, they only got a 1 goal lead here. I don't know. Does a yellow card on the bench go against that foul count? I've always been a little confused by that. If someone's a little more in tune with that than me, I'd be curious. Yeah, there was a little embellishment on that foul, I think, Luke, for me, but right in front of the referee, and it was sold well enough. Ooh, is that a handball? What just? Whoa, Cuba getting fired up here. Ref's already on a yellow. Or not the ref. Oh my gosh, the coach. Goodness gracious. Ref's got some work to sort out here. Man, they're earning their money tonight. I mean, arms extended away from the body. I think that's got to be a call, right? As a handball. Now there's some pushing and shoving going on. The Cuban team pleading their case. Nicaragua telling them they're wrong. Listen to the referee. Both referees trying to sort it out. Nicaraguan goalkeeper trying to calm his team down. Man, oh man. Fans are doing a great job as the sixth player. Yeah, this crowd is great. I mean, wonderful. And they got to be loving this. When you see the opposing team that fired up and the coach storming around, uh, you get you gotta jeer him a little bit, right, and keep that energy high and try and get him to make a passionate mistake with his mouth. So we got a penalty kick here. This could tie the game. And it does. Oh, the Cuban goalkeeper with a nice hand on it as well. Oh boy, his heart is hurting on that one. You could see his hand on his face. He knows he nearly had that one. Oh, this poor guy. It's 2-2. What a rocket ship. A little bit fortunate for the Nicaraguan player. He didn't necessarily put that in a corner. And this crowd's got to be feeling themselves now. They got to be excited. They got to feel like they're a part of the game here at this point. They look much more animated than they did before. Halfway through the second half. Oh, a quick counter here for Nicaragua right off the oh, couldn't quite get it right in the arc there. Definitely handball, tough call, but handball. Yeah, it's happened a few times this tournament where you're sliding in to make a tough defensive play. You got your arm out, keeping your balance on that slide, but then your arm's part of the play, right? So if the ball touches your arm, that's the risk you take. If it's tucked in, it's a lot harder for the referee to call. But that arm was fully extended as far as I'm concerned. Wow, Cuba playing a little sluggish now. I don't know what, but a hard effort here to get the ball back on the turnover. Turns it over again in the same spot. Ooh, nearly for Nicaragua. Nearly another opportunity. This is a good one. Cuba looks shook. Yeah, I agree. They look a little off. I think that they're. Adrenaline's probably pumping in a bad way at this point because there's been a lot of passionate discussion with the officials. Your gaffer's kind of off his rocker at the moment. He's on a yellow now. He's storming to the center table there to the fourth official, trying to plead their case on that handball. And I think they're at 3 or 4 fouls. So certainly have to play a little more careful now being tied. Great little individual play here, but just not enough. Oh, yeah, handsy for sure. I think that's going to be a card. He tries to sub off. Just a couple too many infractions. See the referee pointing to a couple different spots on the court, kind of implying that maybe if you had a few of those now, sick of it. And yeah, you can't do that. Come on. You can't do that in football, American football. Yeah, there's the replay on the handball. I mean, no question. Look at the bounce on this. Oh my gosh. I think the goalkeeper thought the post was going to help him there, and it just the amount of English on it that the spin that was on it coming off of his arm ended up ultimately helping it kiss off that post. Stress is high for the Cuban bench. You can see it rubbing their face. A lot of pacing from the from management. They look like I looked when I was watching the U.S. earlier today. It looks like Cuba's playing their pivot kind of the same way that the United States did, in the sense that uh, they're finding him with a long ball. He's standing the ball up and leaning into the fixo and kind of using his body presence and his physique, and then looking for that quick turn and shot. And same as with the Dominican Republic reading it with the United States, Nicaragua's just not falling for it. He keeps cutting to his right foot hard and launching the ball. And Nicaragua's Fixo has been able to keep enough pressure on him that he just cannot get set to get a accurate shot on goal. It's just not there. It's time to try something different. Hmm. Talk about a momentum swing in this game. Nicaragua looking like the stronger team right now. Honestly, Cuba's looks a little rattled. I would say Canada put more pressure on Cuba in their game yesterday than they're feeling from Nicaragua right now. But I think just the intensity of the crowd, maybe on top of the situation with the scoreline, maybe Cuba's feeling that pressure a little bit. Referees starting to have their handfuls in this one. A lot of conversations between these two teams. A lot of confident, I'll say, body language towards each other as well. Oh, great shot there by Cuba, but the keeper's up to the task. Wow. All right. Are they finding their groove again? Is that going to be enough to kind of wake them up? going for that long ball to the pivot. Still hasn't paid off. Nicaragua just can't seem to keep the ball in the final third. Uh, 6:45 left in the second half. For those of you that don't have a feed on this game, great long range shot from Nicaragua, but the Cuban goalkeeper saw it the whole way. Stretches out and takes care of business. Oh, hell of an effort from Nicaragua. But again, the Cuban goalkeeper, he's just ready. Great kick save. Well done. All right, let's see. Let's see what happens from both these teams as we near the latter half of the game. Cuba with a kick in a dangerous place here. This Nicaragua coach is so animated. I think that I think this tournament has aged him about 10 years. And it's only day 2. Probably smart to come out there from the Nicaragua goalkeeper. He's able to clean things up. If this holds this score line, anything could happen on the final day between these 4 teams in this group. Cuba already sitting on a tie. They really need to win if they want to stay competitive for that second place spot. Panama would be thankful for some breathing room for sure. Hey, as we're rounding out the game, for anybody that's still hanging around, you may have seen the ticker come and go that we've added to the stream. Feel free to join us on all our social medias. Would love to see you guys in the Discord. That's where we share links to games, little banter. There's also an announcements page there to let you guys know when I put out new content for selfish reasons. But I try not to spam you guys with notifications best I can. But do want a way to be able to share with the Futsal News faithful when a new video comes out. So we also share when another yellow card for Nicaragua here. Also share when we go live. Typically, it's an interview with a futsal person that knows more than me, so we could get you guys some good quality content. So you get to watch me get educated live when we do those interviews, and you get to participate and ask questions as well, which is something I think makes us unique. Uh, really trying to think forward and think of creative ways to put futsal out there in the space and into the internet space, and I think that's a great way to do it and allow our community to participate as a part of this channel. I don't want it to be just me on here blabbering away. I want to hear from everyone. I want everyone to see what's going on. So it's great the top 2 third place teams go through, keeps the competition high in all games. Yeah, especially with a region like CONCACAF. I mean, if you added that extra 2 groups, who are you really bringing into the contest, especially in futsal? I mean, I don't think there's really anyone else in our region that can support a national team traveling to this and being a part of the action. I really don't. I don't think it adds any quality to the tournament. Whereas this, like you said, Luke, allows all 3 groups to remain competitive and leaves most people with something to fight for on the last day of the group stage. 4:20 to go. But yeah, think about joining that Discord, guys, if you want to continue to carry on conversations, talk futsal, talk other stuff. I've got channels on there for self promotion as well. So if you guys are content creators or have things going on that you want to advertise, you're happy to do it. I try to share some news stories and features there. We've got a channel for the live stream links, a general chat if you just want to chit chat. Uh, I'm here for all of it. We've got spaces for you to share your animals with us. If you got goofy memes, doesn't have to be futsal or soccer related. Just share it and have some fun. And then I put a gaming channel in there as well. So if you use Discord for its traditional uses of the gaming community, and you want to meet up with your next battle royale partner or start a Minecraft server, I encourage you guys to do that here and just build the futsal community. I don't care how it's done; just want you here. Um, yeah, would love to see it. We've got some voice channels there that are public for you guys to utilize as well. And feel free to use Discord to its full capacity. No Honduras. Oh, that's a good point. That is a very good point. I didn't think about that. I knew someone was missing. Did they participate in 2021? Let's look. No, they did not enter the tournament in 2021 either. No Jamaica as well. Oh, look at this. Great effort from Nicaragua. They at least earned themselves a corner here. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Yeah, I guess some notable countries that don't participate or are not participating would be Honduras and Jamaica. And then, believe it or not, Guyana is ranked 12th in CONCACAF for futsal. So that's interesting. Jamaica. So we got a timeout here for Nicaragua before they take this corner. As the game winds down, probably looking to see what they can do to create some magic and maybe steal a extra 2 points away here out of this draw. Certainly plenty to play for. So yeah, you really don't have enough quality. To even add one extra group and say, hey, the best third place team across everybody. Yeah, that's a tough one. Oh boy, the intensity is at an all-time high. Another ad. My goodness. Here we go. Just over 2 minutes of play. Still 2-2. Ooh. Nicaragua sleeping a little bit there on defense. They got a little lucky that Cuba didn't take advantage. Is this game's winding guys down. I will be back at the same time tomorrow to catch the two last games of the night. It'll involve the same four teams of Canada, Panama, Nicaragua, and Cuba. We're gonna see. I believe Canada plays. Oh, excuse me. Panama plays Cuba at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and then Canada plays Nicaragua at 10 p.m. Eastern time. So we'll catch those two games. Uh, there's no live stream chat in the CONCACAF YouTube channel, so I won't be able to chat with you guys during the days I'm watching those games, at least in their chat. A lot of things I feel like CONCACAF's gotten wrong on this streaming opportunity for this tournament that is taken away from the fan interaction or just viewership in general. Then looking ahead, the quarterfinals are not till Wednesday. They start at 2 p.m. and end at 8 p.m. So I'm probably only going to be able to catch that 8 p.m. game with you guys, but I will try and stream on Wednesday as well. I don't know who that's going to be, obviously, yet that's in that game, but we'll watch them play and see who makes it through. We'll talk about the other games while we do it. And then where we get lucky is the semifinals on Thursday sees an 8 p.m. game and a 10 p.m. game. And thankfully, they don't play on Friday because that's the worst day for me. I wouldn't be able to stream at all. So we'll be able to catch third place at 8 p.m. on Saturday. And then the final at 10 p.m. on Saturday as well. So as we get into the real meat and potatoes of this contest and get into that our World Cup qualified teams, I wish we could watch more of the quarterfinals to see who those World Cup qualified teams are together as a group. It's just not conducive with my schedule. So we will just enjoy those four teams on the Thursday and the Saturday of this week. No, I do not know where the foul count is, Luke, actually. I'm not sure. I want to say it might be 4 each. Cuba might be on 5. 10 seconds to go. It's a bit of a giant scramble here. Nobody has control of the ball. It's been bouncing around. A lot of volleys. 2 seconds. Nicaragua just kills the time. Take the draw. There it is. All right, guys. Our first points for Nicaragua in this tournament. Cuba probably a little disappointed. They probably should have won this match. I would agree with the poll with you guys that if you're cheering for Cuba, you're probably thinking they're winning this thing. Great performance from Nicaragua. Fans, I think, definitely had some impact on this game there for them. What an effort from this young squad. And you can see they played to the end. Look at the exhaustion on their face. Great game. Great game. This is what futsal is all about. Is games like this. Really, really entertaining stuff. Both teams fought to the very, very, very end. I'd say the same for Canada again. Give them their flowers today, even though they lost. They fought to the very last whistle. They didn't care that they were down by a few goals in the waning seconds. They didn't just sit back and call it. All of it was very good today, with the exception of one game for me. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you joining me. Thank you very much for joining me on this journey of the CONCACAF Championships. Oh, you're fine. I'm almost done. I don't know if that whining got through to you guys, but this old lady dog here is getting tired of me not being in bed. So we will wrap this up for the night. I appreciate you guys a ton being a part of this community. And we will continue this and be back again tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time. All right, guys. Have a wonderful night. Enjoy.